It was a very miserable, what was supposed to be romantic weekend away with my now wife. And we went to the Lake District. I'd booked it all up, courtesy of a nameless other guidebook that I won't mention for now. And it promised great things and wonderful views, fabulous food, impeccable service, comfortable, stylish rooms. And the reality was that it was more like an OAP room or OAP home, I would say, rather than a sort of a boutique hotel that I was looking for. So we ended up in this hotel thinking, well, we've got to try and salvage the weekend somehow. So we'll go to the best restaurant we can find in Lake Windermere. And of course, everything was booked up because it was too late by the locals. So we ended up in sort of a Pizza Hut in Lake Windermere and thinking, what would we want if we ever, wanted to go and try and find a hotel next time? And I'd had this idea for a while about producing a new hotel guide. So we literally wrote our first review, if you like, of or what we would want from a hotel guide. And that's how Mr. and Mrs. Smith started. Certain members of my family, again, probably thought I was a bit mad, but I'd had a few sort of mad moments in my life, so I guess I was surprised that they would maybe doubt that I would try and do another one. And then you have people who you don't expect to support you who do come in. And so it's interesting. I mean, I never put any pressure on anyone, obviously, to support or not to support. I just hope that the ideas that come up, people like. And if I genuinely believe from a small market survey of friends and family that it's a great idea, then you tend to start to feel that there's a buzz about it, and then you can tend to, I think, sell it into people. So yeah, it was a good way of starting, but also a very difficult way of starting. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is you have some immediate advocates for your brand because they've all put in, some of their hard-earned savings, which is nice. So it's almost like your own sort of initial company committee, if you like. So I think that's good, to help spread the word. And if you can find people when you're getting investment, even if it's just friends and family, if you can try and find some smart money as well as just the money, then that's really helpful, thinking sort of longer term. But to start with money is everything because you can't get something going, not like this anyway. We had a publishing business that we then realised a far greater opportunity, a far more scalable opportunity. And once we realised that as a team of directors, because I had partners as well, particularly a good FD, which is important, I think, to any company. I think that once we realised the potential of how Mr. and Mrs. Smith could grow globally and how the revenue streams could be so much more than just book sales, you can go out there with a compelling pitch and proposal to try and raise the money, and that's what we did. Again, you've got to get people to buy into you and to your brand. I think people definitely buy into individuals, no question, and providing the numbers stack up and they feel comfortable with that, then there's no reason why you can't go and raise money. It's all in the presentation, I would say. Yeah, hugely important. I think the brand is more important than anything else because if you don't protect your brand, you can't continue to extend your brand. And I think it's one of the most difficult things. I know as a brand, we definitely sort of punch above our weight, I would say. Our business isn't as big as our brand, I would say, at the moment, but we're hoping to, over time, change that. So if any debate was to become heated in terms of promotional partners or marketing initiatives or whatever that we discuss, and it was ever going to threaten the brand in any way, shape or form, that would be where I think people would become out most fighting. So yeah, brand is everything. And you have to approach building a brand from all corners, I think. It has to be offline, online, inline, through advocates, through clever partnerships, through wonderful optimization of your site, through whatever it may be. There are 100 ways you can market and build your brand. I think the most effective way, I would say, that we found, and this goes back to, if you like, the promoter in me and the sort of my early days of PR, is PR. If people read about you, they believe it. And I think if you can get column inches, if you can get people saying you're great, then that's the quickest route to building your brand, I would suggest. People seem to have adopted it. I think people adopt brands. I think people like them for whatever reason. So whether you love Nike because you just think that their trainers look cool or they're better for performance. Hopefully people like Mr. and Mrs. Smith because they think they can trust us, which is a really important sort of brand attribute for us, to give them the real insight and knowledge that a good friend would give you on a hotel. And at the same time, it kind of looks nice as well on my coffee table. There's this membership club that gives me extra things. And so I think it ticks all your boxes as a consumer wanting to find a hotel or a boutique hotel. And I don't think anyone else quite does it in the way that we do. And therefore people adopt you and you become one of their hopefully favourite brands. And I think when you have that, then people start to talk about you. Trust is really important. I mean, hugely important to any brand. The integrity of what you do, I feel, is as important as the brand you're building. Because if you cut corners, and that's another thing, we've never cut any corners. You know, every single hotel that we invite into our collection, you can't buy your way in, is handpicked by us. We personally visit every single hotel. We then send a couple to review it anonymously, so whatever we're told, we know is for real. And then we have these members and non-members, you know, everybody's welcome to book with us, who give us feedback, and it's very honest feedback. And if we get too much honest feedback about a place that we're not happy with, we switch them off immediately. But I think the majority of the Mr. and Mrs. Smith audience will fight for their holidays still. I think we might buy a little bit more wisely. I think you'll be looking for more deals. I think people may spend a little less on the room, which the hotels will have to react to as well and come in line with. But I think, you know, my advice with people with the recession is you've just got to keep attacking, and you've got to keep working at it, and you've got to find ways of offering what customers out there are spending something that they're willing to still part with their money for. As I said, I mean, we're still growing at the moment, so precautions are definitely planning for any eventuality. I think you can't ignore what may or may not happen to your business. So you should always sort of have, you know, DEFCON 2 and 3 up your sleeve, ready to go, and be deployed if needs be. I mean, I guess the good side about the pound weakening is that hopefully the Americans that we're trying to attract may start to travel back to Europe and the UK. So again, there's always kind of pros and cons, isn't there, with pound strengthening or weakening. But there are still enough places where the pound is still pretty strong to have a good holiday, I would suggest. And it's about, you know, choosing wisely and doing your research, and you know, we can help you with all that. Hopefully one day, yeah. We are looking at that. I mean, it's a difficult one because you sort of poach a turn gamekeeper, and I'd be very conscious of that because we've been telling everyone what we think of their hotels for the last sort of 5 years, and then to open the doors, if you like, to everyone telling them what they think of our hotel would be quite scary, but at the same time, it sounds like a challenge that I don't think I can turn down. So we are definitely looking. It's about timing, I would say, at the moment, and making sure it's the right place, because myself and Tamara have been collecting, if you like, ideas and thoughts for building what we believe would be the ultimate boutique hotel one day. And I've now been to about 700 hotels, I'd say, over the last 5 years. So we have a good idea of what we want, I think. So the building, in my mind, wherever that may be, has to pretty much match that. So yeah, hopefully one day we'll get there.